Okay, as I said, I just want to welcome everyone today to our active school. And to start us off today, I will turn the time over to Angie Hawthorne to introduce our first speaker.
All right, thank you, Stu. So I have the pleasure of introducing Diane Young. Diane Young is a recent A7 with ACTIVZ. She lives in Spokane, Washington. She is a caregiver of two family members, an absolutely incredible person. She is a hard worker. She is an athlete. And what she's found is that she's done network marketing in the past, but she is seeing vastly greater results here, even with the same effort that she is putting in. And the thing that I love about Diane, and especially her team, is when you speak with Diane and when you speak with every single member on her team, they are all positive, they are all optimistic, and they are all grateful to be here. And it's just a pleasure to be working with her and to be working with her team. I love to see the growth that she's been having. She's having this explosive growth, and we are so excited that she is our up and coming rising English speaker here with ACTIVZ. And Diane, I don't want to take any more of your time because everyone wants to hear from you. And so I'm going to turn my own time over to Diane, and she's going to present to us. So Diane, the time is yours.
Oh, thank you so much, Angie. It's such a privilege to be here. And I certainly wouldn't be here without the team, right? And many of them are on here. I want to say a quick hello. And really the whole US is our team, right? Go US team. And today what we're going to be talking about is, I'm going to give you a little overview. I had one way that I was going to go, and then I listened to the last corporate call, and I just want to plug in, it's so important to listen to those corporate calls because you learn so much. And if you wait a couple days, sometimes you're missing out on very good information. So one of the things I learned, Ryan Thompson talked about a fellow named Danny Pizarro, and he went A12 in 1 year. Who doesn't want to do that? You know, raise your hand. Yes, we want to go there, right? We're all aspiring to, go A16, but A12 in 1 year, that's 100,000 volume. And probably about 10,000 a month. They really, we're such a new company that they can't really give out estimates now, but that's a lot of volume, and that's very exciting. Now, everybody on his team, almost many had absolutely no network marketing MLM experience. So what they did is they went by the ACTIVZ Success Guide. So today, what we're going to do is we're going to follow this guide, and I'm going to let you know that everything that I did to go A6 and A7 in my first and second month is in this guide. So where you can find this is, you can Google it. It's just ACTIVZ Success Guide. You can find it on the activz.info site. And you can print it out. Now, Angie was kind enough to throw one in. I ordered some brochures, and she threw a couple in for me, and I gave one out, and I kept one, thank God. And so I have it here today for us. So, okay, here we go. So what really had me, I thought about what had me shoot out of the gate right away and have a quick start, which is what we want. And I'm going to go over that. So let's just say that you didn't get a quick start. Or let's just say that you started. Let's just all imagine that you're starting today. Today is your first day, okay? Because if you started 2 years ago, or you just signed up yesterday, today's a new day. And we are all in the same boat. And we are going to take this to be successful. So let's imagine that. So I'm going to go over a lot today about mindset and what it takes to be successful in this business model. And we are independent contractors. And we'll go over that many times. And I might reiterate that, but it is a mindset. So we are all pioneers, basically. But first of all, I want to apologize. I have to be looking at my notes. So if I'm not looking directly into the camera, forgive me. So that always bothers me. I like to have eye contact when I'm talking with someone, but I'm going to be looking at my notes quite a bit here. Okay. We're basically bushwhackers. So, Mexico, they got the machetes out and they paved the trail. That they did that little tiny trail for us. And now in Mexico, there are thousands, right? And so that's what we're doing here in the United States. So we are the bushwhackers in the US, but we know it's possible with Mexico. 2 A16s, and Martin did he did his in like 18 months. Oh my goodness. So we know it's possible. So that's what we're going for. So what I want you to do, if you have an active success guide, if not, you can Google it, but just follow along with me if you don't have it right there. So on the very first page, this is what it looks like. You're going to open it up, and it says the Active Success Guide, a guide to building your Actives business. And on the first line, it says, congratulations on your decision to open your own Actives business. Now you're in business, so congratulate yourself. I literally want you to take your hand and pat yourself on the back. You made a choice. It's huge. You're in business. Your doors are open. And what we're going to go on into is the type of business that we're in. So some of you have never been self-employed, and we're going to go into that quite a bit. So this is your grand opening. Very, very exciting. So get excited. What do you do when you open a business, man? There's usually a lot of time and effort and money that's invested. Thank God we have a $500 investment with this and an overhead of $240. That's not much for traditional business. And many businesses are in business 3 to 5 years without a profit. This, we have the opportunity to make a profit right away. You bring in one and you get that, whether it's a customer at 20% and a distributor at 10%. So you're going to say you brought a distributor and you're going to be return on your money. You can get your money back, return on investment the first month if you want. So, okay, so we're going to go into the model of network marketing. And we are a direct sales, basically, multi-level, but so we have more of a profit margin. And I want to thank Ryan Thompson and David Brown, because they have payroll, they have quality control, they have everything what the traditional business would have. They take care of that for us. So what we are up to, we are an independent contractor. We are self-employed. And like I said, there's a certain mentality. So what we want to do is, whether you're in this full-time or part-time, or you want to be full-time, you want to take this as like you just opened your business with a regular store, because you want to get into action right away. It says read this pamphlet within 24 hours. So, or 48 hours. Anyway, right away in the first couple of days, read this so that you know what's in it. So how you can succeed. It's right there. And I went through this, and many of the questions that I get over and over, of course, that I asked my support group, my lead support, I just got on the horn right away on the phone, but a lot of it's right here. So the answers are at your fingertips. Okay, and that's one thing I'm going to mention really quickly, is that I actually have been in other multi-levels before, and we're referred to the people that have sponsored us, or about, that are with them, that got them in, as upline. And then I would be a downline. Well, I don't really care for that term. So we call our lead support, which for me is Jen McMillan, Coco, and Trish Albrechtson. We call them our lead supports, because that's what they are. They're the leaders and they support us. So we're all leaders, really, especially once you get someone in as a customer or distributor. So I just kind of wanted to go over that really quick. So being a business owner, there are certain traits to being a business owner to be successful. And I actually just looked these up, but they're all right there. And there's many with this mindset. So I'm going to go over a few. You might want to write this down. I'm responsible for my future. So, there's no one else responsible. You sign the dotted line. You might have a spouse or partner or someone that's in business with you, but you know that that you're responsible. When you work for somebody, they have their own business and you're actually working for them. But when you sign up, you're in business for yourself. It's on your shoulders. So you know this. And nobody owes me anything. This was right off of Google. So you know that nobody owes you anything. You signed up, you got in, and you're ready to go. So I'll learn whatever it takes. This is so important. Congratulations, you're on the school, you're listening. You're ready to learn what it's going to take to be successful. You'll overcome problems and you'll focus. Focusing is so important. This is first and foremost on my mind now. So you're going to focus on what's important, what's next. So there's a few more, but the main one is not to quit. Never, ever quit. You can only lose with this when you quit. So if you quit and say goodbye, you can always come back, but you don't want to quit. I've known people in this industry that asked, like 200 people and 1 to 200 people. And before they got their first one, now they're making 150,000 a year. So, I mean, a month. So never give up. And I wanted to go into a little bit about how I had that mindset. And I had a very wise father. I'm going to go into a little storytelling here, and we'll go into storytelling later. And that's also in the Success Guide. But when I was very young, I was 11 years old. My father was very wise. He moved our family of 7 out to 40 acres, and we remodeled an old milk farm. And on that farm, we had our horses and cows, and we had our own beef and chickens, and we plucked chickens, and we hauled hay was one of the things. We of course, changed sprinkler pipe, and but
oops. You went on mute.
am I okay? Where'd you lose me?
That was my fault, Diane. I was trying to let someone in, and it jumped and hit you on mute.
Happens all the time. I think nobody listens to me anyway. That's funny. So anyway, so here we are, we're on the farm. We moved in this 40 acres and we're hauling hay, and there's a storm coming in, and we're having a fundraiser. I actually called my girlfriend I thought she was in the cab with me on my old flatbed, but she was actually driving the other one and witnessed this. So when you're on a farm, you got to get things done. And so here we are, we're hauling hay. I have my brother, his friends, the football team, there's a football fundraiser, and they've got the hay stacked 6 high, right? So what does Diane do? The old International, I pop the clutch really hard and they go tumbling off. And I called my girlfriend yesterday, and we laughed so hard because she said, Diane, I watched them fall off and most of the hay. And of course they had to restack it. But what were we going to do? We weren't going to leave it on the ground. And guess what? Diane never popped the clutch again. So you learn really, really fast, especially when you have big brothers and football team are coming after you. So I hopped in that cab and never popped it again. But the reason why I bring that up is that we worked as a team. So to get things done, and yes, we are independent contractors, but we're a team here. And we rely on each other. If I didn't do my chores, that somebody was going to suffer. Either somebody else had to go out and do it, or an animal didn't get fed and they suffered. So you learn responsibility. And that's basically that. While I'm turning the page, I'll tell you another quick story. We had an old crank tractor, and that day our bull that was as big as the tractor got out, and so that we had the whole football team had to get it back in. Anyway, we had a lot of fun. And that's another thing I'm going to mention is, are you having fun? Are you enjoying this? So if it's very stressful for you, you're not going to attract others to come into your business. So enjoy it, have fun with this. All right, so the next page is, how am I doing for time here? I practiced and only went over 45 minutes. That's okay, isn't it? Just kidding. So I'll get through this as fast as I can. Okay, actives, here we go. What sets us apart? Well, let me tell you why I shot out of the gate, because I had a deep knowing and trust and belief that our leaders, the ones who own the company, Ryan Thompson and David Brown, they were very integrous people. They had integrity. they were not going to change the comp plan. In fact, they actually added 3 bonuses in the month that I got in. So, and not only that, they weren't going to change the comp plan. They weren't going to change the formulas of the products. They were only going to make it better for us. In fact, Angie tells me that they just think of ways to pay us. So that's pretty good. I knew that this was going to be something that I could hand over to my daughter, and that I could, this is going to be a lifetime investment. My time and effort was going to be rewarded. So that's something very important. You can trust that our leaders are going to be there for us and they have our back. Very, very important. That we have an amazing comp plan. I was in another business similar with the same comp plan, only ours is enhanced even better. And people were making such great money at the top or in the middle ranks that they weren't really aspiring even to go to the top, because they were doing very, very well. Now we all want to go A16, but I've witnessed this comp plan. So I knew that. So there's 2 things. And actually I had a residual income from that. So once you taste that residual income, you're always going to want it. So, and our products second to none, and we have exclusives. Oh my goodness. So I had witnessed hundreds of people benefit from Nerf 2. And to know that this is, as David Brown says, is more potent, 10 times more potent than that. And it just, it's just amazing to me. So, and we're also witnessing miracles, really, truly nothing short of miracles for me. I can say that for me and my team. And then Al Zapp, like I said before, he had a business that he supplied holistic supplements to doctors. And he was very pure. That's why they could trust him. And he knows his stuff. To me, he's the guru of supplements. And when he says this is the holy grail of supplements, you know that it is. I mean, like I just knew that. So that allowed me to actually, before I signed up, before I even got my product, I was sharing this. And thank God I shared it with Matthew Felton, who is a leader. And Matthew, chances are he might pass me up, but I'm working hard that he won't. He's about half my business right now. But I was very fortunate that I had a lot of leaders in my organization right off the bat. So, okay. The other thing is our timing. Oh my goodness. So I was the first in Washington, the very first. So we have this. I mean, it's wide open in the United States. We are in the conception stage. You know how they say that the people at the top always make all the money? Well, that's not necessarily true. You can come in later. However, we are the very, very beginning, very, very exciting. And the groundwork's already been laid. So it's not like it's a new company. They've been at it, then COVID hit. But we have everything laid out. It's paved. So the road is paved for us. We just have to do our part. So the timing, the sense of urgency. I've heard people, you know, like they get somebody, they're talking to somebody and there's no sense of urgency. You know, I'll call them back in a couple of days. You got to be on it. And when that's, I think, one reason when I was able to bring in, I was right there with those people. And the huge part of this is listening to their needs. And the sense of urgency is so important. Follow up right away. Okay, so what I want to say is that when I had my first, I knew all those things, but one of the biggest things was that when my friend Jan actually got the presentation video in front of me, I did a 3-way. She did a 3-way with me with Trisha Albrechtsen. Well, that was a total clincher right there. So to have the leadership, I mean, I couldn't even pinch me because I knew Trisha from another. I didn't know her personally, but from another business, and I know her integrity. I know her leadership skills. She's trained hundreds of people to make between 10 and 150,000 a month. I witnessed that. So I knew that we were very, very fortunate. And whoever your leader is, edify them. Know that you have the best because they're the ones that brought you in. So our advisory board, it talks about other things on here, our advisory board, and the activation system, which is basically invite, present, and follow up. Okay, we're going to go on to the next step. I'm gonna turn my page here. Define your why. No, let's see here. Oh, where am I? What's this part? Oh, okay. Your first day, that's the next page. That's 3. Okay, your first day, this is your basics right here. I have so many people asking me continually what's on here, and I did the same thing. So I asked, and I think I was on the horn with Coco and Jan and Trisha constantly, but a lot of the basic information is right here. So just go to that page. It'll tell you how to sign up. Coco was kind enough to call me right away, she set up my my web page and got me on Hyperwallet, and just know that you're going to make money with this. So you want to sign up right away. Anyway, all those basics are right here on this page. We're going to go to the next page. Well, first of all, I'm going to go over a few things. I want to look at my notes here for a second. Okay, so I'm going to go over my 3-way call that I had with Trisha. And because in what to do on your first day, there's your why, which we're going to go over that in detail, your goals, your database, and to duplicate the system. But with your goals, what I did with Trisha was on my first 3-way call, I said, what will it take for me to make $5,000 a month? And she told me exactly what to do. So I knew what I was aspiring to do. Like I had a goal right there and then. I went, okay, that's what I'm going to do. And then I just got on the horn and I started sharing this. So very, very important, these basic steps. Don't take them for granted. They're there, write them down, and know that it's very important. And then it's to duplicate the system. How many have been on a presentation or Zoom with Trisha? It's the same thing, because it is we're duplicating. And then it's basically to rinse, wash, rinse, repeat. You do it over and over. So very, very important. Okay. Oh, another thing I'm going to go over is some people that sign up and they go, okay, I'm going to wait till I get results. Well, I just want to mention this because it is very, very important. Now it's your business and you can do whatever you want. If you don't, I have the gift of belief. So I knew, and also I had witnessed all this with another company, that I knew what we had here in our hands and the results that you get. Now the science is the same, and it works the same in your body as it works in mine. If you wait for your results, you might be waiting a long time. I tell people that if you are taking a cholesterol lowering drug, you're not always going to feel your cholesterol lowering, only it's working. It's doing the same in your body as it is in mine. And my cholesterol might not need to be lowered, but yours does. So you're going to have different things that it works in your body, but it's the science the same. Like I said, it does the same. So you might be waiting a while. And then for some, this also has a tendency to, these products are powerful. For me, I've had a couple of days where I had a headache and I felt like, so I knew that I was what we call cleansing. We don't really want to say detoxing. We want to say it's cleansing your body. You have to drink a lot of water. And so there's going to be days maybe that you don't feel the best. So, but I know that it's working. That was really a good thing, I knew. So, I just went off the products on one of the occasions, and then the next day I felt better than ever. So if you wait, I wouldn't hesitate. I just look at the science, know that it works, and start working on your business. So okay, so don't hesitate to get started. I didn't. Okay, so you want to define your why. Now, that's on step 1, page 5. Very, very important. So your why. I had a friend that taught business school at the University of Gonzaga here in Spokane, a well-known university. And he asked me at that time, about 15 years ago, I had a small manufacturing company and I sold products nationwide. And he asked me a question and it really made me think. He said, Diane, why are you in business? He never really said anything after that, but he just paused. So what I want you to do right now is grab your pen and write down the first thing that comes to mind. Why are you in business? So we're going to pause for a minute. So write it down. If it might be one or two or three things, and your why might change. But you need to know that it's personal to you. You can declare it. You don't want to go out there and put it on Facebook, because that's not the thing to do right away, but declare it to your spouse or your partner. Let the ones close to you know, this is why I'm doing this. But keep that in mind, because there's going to be times that you might hesitate with this. You might go, am I doing the right thing? And I haven't yet. Hopefully I won't. I'm sure I won't. But because I know what we have, and I want you to have that same belief. But your why is personal is very, very important. Some of you might want it for college for your kids, to get out of debt. That was a big one for me, to help people with their finances and to get healthy, just to succeed. So whatever it is, write it down, keep it, and know that it is personal to you, and there are no wrong answers on this. So it could be something that nobody else has. So right now we're going to go over the why is so important. Notice that I'm reiterating about business, because you are in business, and I'm gonna read what a business is. It is the organized effort of individuals to produce and sell for profit the goods and services that satisfy society's needs, working towards a common goal. So that's what we're doing. And it sounds like teamwork, doesn't it? And so that's what we have. Again, I'm going to go over that we are independent contractors. So important. We are self-employed. Now, some of you have never been self-employed before, and that's okay. You go to work and you work for somebody else. Some of you have been there a long time. I have a girlfriend that works for a corporation, and she joined with me in another one, in a different MLM, and it was difficult for her to get over the fact that I was going to make some money with her. What she didn't know is they capped it off the first month. So anyway, I just thought that was interesting, but she works for a corporation now. And it's a different mindset. It's a different model. So you got to know that that's one of our goals, is that we are going to make money, and you need to give yourself permission to do that. Some of you, money is innate. It's neither positive or negative. It's just, but it's what we do with it. You can do a lot of good. So very, very important. Okay, so I'm going to go over the traits. So before it was, right now we're going to go over the traits of being self-employed. So you're going to be, we're accountable. We're accountable to others. I'm accountable to my team and to myself. So if you're not going to hold people accountable and make goals and hold them accountable, then don't make them. So it's important. And yes, because they want to aspire for their goals. They want to reach those, attain those. And that's how you're going to be in business with them and help them along, is to keep them accountable to their word and to their goals. You're committed. I'm in this. This is for life. We're going to be in this forever. Until I'm not on this marble anymore, and I can hand it over to my daughter. So I know that this is it for me. Taking responsibility, very, very important. Making the proper choices or decisions, behaviors and actions. So you can write those down. So here we go. Okay, so the next one I absolutely love. Okay, very, very important. Where are we for time? So I don't know when we started, but we'll just keep going here. I'm just about ready to wrap it up on a few other things after this. So very, very important. Your story. Oh my gosh, your story. So some of you probably have a blank when you go to talk to people, and not me. I have a little bit of a gift to gab, and I'm very, when you're passionate, and just let it flow. But the first thing I do is start telling people my story. And I just tell them about Jan and how she, literally continued to ask me to watch this and the presentation video, and there was no way, no way. And so I said, and I literally was, I didn't want to do this. I knew what the commitment it would take. I just said, no way, I wasn't interested. I'm kind of done with this for now. And so that kind of gives them permission, and they're going, okay, this is how I feel. They're feeling the same way. I really don't want to listen to this. I don't have any time right now. Right now in our times, people are stressed out and they have a lot of commitments, and they're different commitments, and it's a different world right now. But so they're kind of agreeing, gosh, I felt the same way. I felt found. So I'm being vulnerable, and I'm letting them know how I felt. So they probably feel the same way. And so I tell them the story, and then I say, however, she had me promise her to watch that. And I did. She held me accountable. And I watched it. We had a 3-way with Trish, and that was a done deal. I was committed. And so very important to tell your story. Now, in the guide, it says 30 to 60, it's like a minute. So how long did it take me to just tell you that? Like a minute, not very long. And you don't want it to be too long, but it's your story. And yours might be different. So write your story down, write it out, and practice it if you need to. But very, very important. Stories are important. We are in the storytelling business, basically. So if otherwise, you're just giving people information. And a lot of times people just go blank with that. So, okay, so we're now going to kind of switch a little bit to dreaming. And with the goals, after your story, we're going to go to goals on the next page. So we're going to go to goals and dreaming. So very important, step 2, page 9. All right, so when Trisha came up here and visited us, we were so fortunate, and we just absolutely just ate her up. She just is just an amazing person anyway. And it was a real privilege to witness her talk to the guests, and her knowledge and depth. She knows what she's doing, and that was a privilege. But first thing she did, we went on a boat trip around Coeur d'Alene Lake. And if you've never been to Coeur d'Alene, you can Google it. It's beautiful, beautiful. And so our core team was on that boat trip, and she starts getting us dreaming. And she starts talking about, how just huge dreams, huge dreams. I actually heard some of the team members say, oh, well, I haven't been dreaming big enough. Open up those childhood dreams. Know that you can attain those with this. This can happen, and it will happen. So give yourself permission. The jumping, or the Mexican jumping bean, a lot of times they say that it hits the top of the jar. If you put it in a jar, it will only jump so high. And then you can take the lid off because it won't jump out of the jar. Well, if you went out of your jar, just know that you can jump again out of that. And you can, from your present circumstances, if you want more in life, you can attain that with ACTIVZ, and give yourself permission to do that. So start dreaming, write your dreams down, write those childhood dreams. And you might not, just do it. Just write them all down, but just to have a big, board and write them all down. And then dream boards are very important. So, okay, your goals. Now we're going to talk about goals in the business. I did that on my very first 3-way call with Trisha. I knew where I wanted to go. And if you haven't written your goals out, just know that they are attainable, and make them attainable, and a time period. Very, very important. So your personal goals, you might want to put family goals. It talks about this on this page, financial goals, and make it a 30, 60, and 90-day goals. So that's it for the goals. Very important to know where you're going. So, okay, I'm just about ready to wrap it up here. So I just want to talk about a couple of other things. I'm going to talk about etiquette, and etiquette on Zoom calls, etiquette on in meetings, and etiquette on 3-ways. So with meetings, I actually built my business my first month on the phone. So I didn't have in-home meetings, but you might. So the main thing is get all the distractions out of the way if you do, and be attentive. Don't be in the background, doing the dishes or getting anything ready. when the guests are there, be attentive and just listen and focus on the presentation. The same thing with the three-way call or with a Zoom. So let's go to the Zoom next. So if you walked into a business, a storefront business, and it was their grand opening, and you saw people in their chairs, you walk in, and instead of them going, hello, how are you? Welcome. And they're sit back like this, and you know, might have their head back, and you're counting the nose hairs. You know, what would you do if they didn't greet you and they weren't attentive to you? Just know that you are on with guests. You're on a Zoom, whether it be a presentation Zoom or a learning Zoom or a corporate Zoom, there are guests on there. So you want to be at the edge of your chair. You want to be taking notes. You want to ask questions, be interested, you know, like this. If you're, you know, I have a suggestion. If you have to take a nap or you're bored or whatever, we have this great product called Arrow, and I'm actually addicted to it. Thank God we have Nerve 2 for my new addiction. But anyway, Nerve 2 does help with addictions. I don't have any others except for this business. So anyway, that was a joke. Anyway, be attentive and be courteous. So if you have to do things like cook or eat, cut the video. And so same thing with three ways. So really quick training on three ways. You quickly introduce and edify, quick. And then if you have a guest on and you have someone speaking, you simply listen. Don't cut them off. Don't ask questions. That does not edify them or downregulate. Their credibility is not there if you're cutting in on the conversation. So simple. The other thing that I'm going to talk about right before I get off is we all have them, we're human, and that is disempowering conversations. And usually the disempowering conversations are between here and here, your own ears. So they're usually not connected to the heart. They're connected just in here in your mind. So I'm going to give you a couple of mine that I had, and then I became aware of them. So I used to believe that I wasn't good enough. And literally this is going to make me cry. I used to believe that I wasn't worthy of the things that I wanted in life. I used to really honestly believe that nobody listened to me. I'm not important, and nobody helps me. I can remember somebody helping me once and going, that's really odd, because I really honestly believed believed that in my heart. Is something that I made up as a human being, as we all have these. So what you can do is you can create a new conversation. And I know that my team members who are on the phone with me constantly calling me, and don't be afraid to call. And I can hear it in their voice. So I don't want to bother you. So you might think that you bother people. So you're never going to get there with these with these beliefs. It's a belief, and it's a dangerous place to be between here. So call somebody, call a team member, and start reading books. It's so important. Books on CDs. You want to feed your brain the positive, and you want to stay positive, because the negative, it just kills things. So what you want to do is you want to stay in that positive mode. Know that, be grateful. Grateful is the biggest one. Be great. I'm so grateful for this business. I'm so grateful for all the leaders. I'm so grateful for what we have. And especially as a time like this, people are looking. The number one Google, I watched the last presentation. The number one Google is side hustles, and we have the best. So I'm going to close with, this is a dance, and life is a dance. Being in this business is a dance, and it's fun to dance with yourself, but it's more fun to dance with somebody. So ask. The big thing is to ask others to join you in the business. And if just ask. So we need that vision. Without a vision, we perish. And we want, if you don't ask, you're never going to receive. So that's what I'm going to finish with. And I just want to thank you all for being here with us. And with me, and for listening. And I really want to thank Stu and David and Ryan and Angie for asking me to be on.
Thank you, Diane. That was absolutely incredible. I hope you guys took great notes. I know I took a lot of notes. There's a couple of things that came to me. I think we've all had the same thoughts and beliefs of I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough. No one wants to listen to me. And
Oh, you muted.
sorry, I have my little son here with me, so he probably is muting me as I'm talking. He's like, "You're talking enough, Mom." But yeah, I know that we've all had those beliefs of I'm not good enough, no one listens to me. I know that I have. And if you ever had a discussion with Diane, you would never believe and you would never know that she's ever had those thoughts. And she's always positive, she's always optimistic. And I love working with her, and I'm so thankful you were kind enough to join us on our active school and talk to everyone, because you're a true leader, and you just have a wealth of knowledge to share with everyone. So thank you, Diane, for joining us today.
So welcome. Thank you.
Stu, I'll turn the time over to you.
Thank you, Diane, for a wonderful presentation. Thank you, Angie, for that wonderful introduction of Diane. And so I'm going to actually steal two words or two thoughts that Diane said in her presentation in introducing our next speaker. The first word actually doesn't necessarily tie into Karen, but it goes more towards David. Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, remember that. That's a beautiful place, David. I suggest we go there next time. And it's the only place where they have like a floating green on a par 3 in the lake. And it moves on a track so they can create the different distances. But Diane, I agree. Let's have David and ACTIVZ take us up there one day. It's so beautiful out there.
Absolutely, let's do it.
Yes. And the second word or thoughts that I want to bring up is conception, the conception stage. And that's what I want to start in introducing our next speaker. Karen Toad and her husband, Ed, I actually met them probably about 4 years ago. And this was actually before the conception of ACTIVZ, even before we got our name. And I met them in Utah, in Salt Lake City, Utah, in this kind of like warehouse / office area when David was in charge of another company. And that was the first time I met them personally. And as we started to talk about the conception of ACTIVZ, I was blown away by the immense knowledge that these two brilliant minds had. Karen and Ed, as you know, Ed, he's famous for being called the unemployable guy, but he actually works for Karen, just to let you guys know. So he is employed working for Karen, but this power couple was very successful in entrepreneur in a telecommunications company. And the fact that they, through all their success, was willing to partner up with David and the team in the very early conception stages of ACTIVZ, having the faith that this will be their next big thing was truly amazing. And the thought and the patience and the knowledge that they kept infusing into make ACTIVZ what it is today started years ago. And they continue to give great input, insight on the direction of our company, especially here in the United States. They're great pioneers, but more importantly, they're wonderful people. Their business mind is great, and they accomplish so much in such a short span. They're still young. In fact, they still have a son in high school, which is, my daughter's in college now. So I know they're younger than me, more brilliant than me, very successful. Their personality is off the charts. And if you ever hear their presentations, both Karen and Ed are phenomenal. So speaking to us today will be the great CEO of that family, Karen Toad, and she'll be presenting about prospecting. The time is all yours, Karen.
Oh my goodness, I'm not sure how to, that's too big of a setup for me. I'm gonna take on the challenge and see if I can do it. So, hi everyone, welcome to this wonderful day, September 11th. First, I wanna say that we we still remember. I'm sure Matt's going to address that later, but we still remember those that perished today. So that's the slow start of today, and slow remembrance, making sure that we give credit where it's due to all those that have served and for our September 11th. But with that being said, I'm going to sort of shift a little bit and then get into my topic, which is prospecting, which is great following Diane, because Diane, fabulous. Yes, I keep my success guide on my desk. I've written down all my goals, my whys, my dreams. I'm just now revisiting it. So let me tell you a little bit about where I come from. So I'm going to say this because it gives you a little bit of perspective of what team we have in ACTIVZ. So Diane was talking about, you know, she comes from a long history of network marketing. She's obviously been very successful in her business and other businesses outside of network marketing. So let me tell you a little bit about me. I was an entrepreneur. I majored in business, got into entrepreneurship early. I've been told that I don't think like other people, which is a very big compliment in my opinion. Got into a variety of businesses, just happened into them. I really never actually had a business that I purposely went into going, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. Other than I always thought that direct sales or network marketing was the ultimate business plan for anyone in business. However, I never really found one that I wanted to get into enough to work. So I had very little and still have very little experience in the network marketing arena. So I'm telling you that because Diane is experienced, Trisha's experienced, and I come into it not so much. So with that, anybody can do this business if they want to, and if they're committed to doing it. And I'm going to tell you a little bit more about that and how to do it. But it is a lot with the mindset that Diane has talked about. I have a couple of slides on mindset myself, but it is a very versatile business plan and business opportunity for anyone that wants to come into their own and do their own thing and do an entrepreneurial adventure. And that's what I call it. It's an adventure. And I'm like Diane, you have to have fun. I don't want to do anything that I'm not passionate about, or I'm not going to have fun, because that's just a waste of my time, my energy, and really my life. And I really want to live life. So I have been very successful historically, thank the Lord. I've been very successful in businesses. David always tells me I don't talk a lot about it, but I did come to this company from a telecom company that Ed and I had for 17 years. We started from scratch from the very beginning, started as a salesperson and then became 50% owner of the company, and literally built that company to a $50 million a year industry company. And everybody in telecommunications, I did networks for the PCS companies or the Verizon Wireless, AT&T, Sprints. I provided their networks. And literally everyone in that industry kept saying, oh, your concept is totally different. It's never going to work. It's never going to pay off. Who do you think you are? And I'm also going to tell you, it's a very old boys network. So here's this chickie poo coming in with new ideas, new way of doing things. And I was told by over and over, you're not going to be successful. And I was told over and over that people had tried different things in the industry, and they were very, the Verizons, the AT&Ts are very stuck in their ways, and they only do certain things, certain ways, blah, 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 blah. Well, I don't believe in that. And I believe in stretching, and I believe that I have a good brain, and I believe there's more out there than just what has been done before. And so when ACTIVZ came along, I was looking to retire. I'd worked very, very hard to create my business, as Diane says, and as you will find or are finding, business can be simple, but it is a lot of hard work, and you have to be committed to putting in the time and the energy and the hard work to get it off the ground. A little bit different about network marketing and direct sales is that if you really put it in, really attack it at the beginning of your career, the residual income and the power that you build with your team and the family that you build continues to grow. It exponentially explodes at some point, and hopefully you don't have to work as hard as you get more in your career. I didn't find that with telecommunications. I found I worked just as hard up to the day that we sold the company to the time that I started the company, because it was more and more that they wanted more from me and my team, and they wanted us to take on more responsibility, which was great, but it didn't give me the freedom that this type of business plan that ACTIVZ have created and has been in the industry for a while has created. Now, why did I choose ACTIVZ over so many more that have come my way? Well, I always knew that, like I said, direct sales was, and network marketing was the perfect business plan. However, I'm really particular. I want to have something that I can believe in and that I'm passionate about and that is different and that will also allow advancement and different ways of thinking going forward. And ACTIVZ absolutely always embodies that, right? We're always trying new things. We want to be the industry leaders in epigenetics. And we and David and the executive team are all open to new ideas on how to build this company. And in my opinion, even though it's a network marketing company, I truly believe it takes traditional business, puts it with direct marketing, and now is even starting to add digital marketing, right? That's the newest avenue of marketing. And we have put all three of them together with digital starting to come in and created this omni-channel marketing company, right? And what do I mean by that is that we've taken network marketing, which is a lot of, you build your team, you learn about your team, you get compensated. Historically, you get compensated only for what your team does. Well, they put in the traditional side of, well, you're not going to just get compensated for your team. You're not going to have to work alone only for your side. You're not competing against this other person or this other channel. We're going to create this business that we all work together for the advancement of ACTIVZ and the advancement of each team member. And we all will benefit from everyone's work all around the world. Well, that's traditional, right? That's very unheard of in network marketing. And network marketing historically, right? One of the things that we get a bad rap for, historically, it is, okay, well, don't come and talk to my team. Don't, do this. This is my team, blah, blah, blah. And I couldn't stand that. I'm a big believer in we're all in this together, and let's build something that we're proud of and that fosters the world growth and the help of everyone in the world as a team, and let us all represent each other. And then ACTIVZ came along and is compensating us for everyone helping each other and building the company, the business, the brand. And I'm amazed at that. And now the team's also looking at other ways to do just the business, right? They have us on Amazon. You can do it through digital marketing, and all the areas that have traditionally been no-nos for direct sales are now open to us. So there's no way not to be excited and impressed by ACTIVZ and to become a part of it. So what I've done and what I would ask you to do is take this excitement, understand that what you have in your hand is a diamond, right? It is a diamond that you can give to everyone in the world, right? We're not really limited based on all the benefits that actives have to create this opportunity for someone to on a business level, which I speak a lot on business level, create a business that they can hold, they can manage, they can pass down to their kids, they can give to family and friends, they can build a business that will allow them to do just about anything they want and whatever that is in their own head. What's their goals? Freedom, travel. My family, when my oldest son was getting ready to go into high school, we actually took a year and had a RV and traveled the US in an RV. All right. Now, my old company was the one that gave me that opportunity, but I expect this company, ACTIVZ, to give me so much more than what I got through my company called Paradigm. I can't tell you how excited I am at the prospect of the freedom that I'm creating for myself and for my family and friends. And then throw in that our products are just amazing and industry leaders in epigenetics. Are you kidding me? We have the check to go out and just conquer the world. And that is my plan. My plan is that ACTIVZ and each and every one of us become the conquerors of the world. And I say that in a good way, not in a bad way. The conquerors of the world, in order to get people to where they want to be in life and optimize their life. And I think I got it, both inside and outside, from their body, their brain, to their business, to their family. So they're optimally living, right? What is the same for Shawshank Redemption? I don't know if you all are big fans of Shawshank Redemption, but the statement is, right? You either can get living or you can get dying. So which one are you going to choose? So with that, I'm going to move into my presentation. There's my probably 10 minutes to give you my hype up. All right, so prospecting, it leads right into what Diane was, I'm taking the next step from Diane's, the success guide. Prospecting. So let me give you a history on my prospecting. So I think I can still claim, I don't know, Diane might be beating me at this point. I can still claim to be the leader in signing up direct prospects. So when I came in, I was so excited that I signed up 45 direct prospects in 45 days. All right. So I can tell you that the system works. So if I tell you that, not to brag, though I do have a little bit of an ego, not to brag, but to tell you that it works. And so, as Diane said, pay attention. You will be able to put your own tweaks into it because you need to do you. I do me, Diane does her, Matt does him. You will do your own, but this will give you a great basis for getting yourself started and active in prospecting. So am I sharing you right now? Can somebody give me a thumbs up, thumbs down? Okay,
Not yet.
Okay, let me share real quick. Dun, dun, dun. And then I'm singing to you, so I'm not sure that's really what you want either, but okay.
Perfect, Karen, it's on.
Okay.
Now that you started, you got to keep singing too. So
well, actually, here's a note that most of you don't know, and you're going to laugh at me, but I sang opera through my first 2 years of college. I actually toured the US singing for the college opera and singing group. So I do have a little bit of voice, not as big as Matt's daughter though. So I got to throw that in. And Matt, you can pay me my $5 later for promoting Angie. So, or I'm sorry, Angela, because you just got her new stage name, Angela. All right, so ACTIVZ, prospecting. So here, let's move to the first one. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about Diane. So Diane was talking about mindset. So who of you have heard of Eric Worre? right? Anybody out there? If you've been in network marketing, I'm sure you know Eric Worre. He is the guru of network marketing. He's got 2 books that I would highly recommend, GoPro and Go for No. They're very short books, but they're very good books. And when I talked to Eric Worre, I was on one of his founders teams, and he said this, and this really stuck to me. So one small thing can change your mindset. So the first is he wrote, I am here to help you build your business. So I changed that just a little bit to tell you ACTIVZ, your upline, which I like Diane, leadership support. I'm going to change that in the future. And team are here to help you build your business. So that mindset could be great. I don't have to do it by myself, which is true. You don't. But it also could think, well, they're going to build my business for me, right? I'm here. I've signed up, and through all their apps, through all the support that we have, which we do, they're going to be helping me, and we're just going to do this together. And I say yes to that, but I'm going to change your mindset just a minute, or Eric's going to change your mindset just for a minute. Look, if I put a period right after help, and I've broken this now into 2 sentences. ACTIVZ, your upline, and your team are here to help you build your business. So that goes along with what Diane's been saying. It is your business. It is your responsibility to build it. We will do everything we can, and our possibilities are limitless to provide you with the tools, the apps, the support to help you. But you have to take ownership of your business. And that ownership might vary every once in a while. And I'm going to tell you right now, it's varied for me. I started off with a bang and could not wait, just excited. Then life happened to life, right? Is another saying. And I haven't been doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And my business has slowed, and my team has gone down because I haven't been serious about my business in the last couple of months. And I can see it. So as I was writing this today, I was reminding myself, okay, if I could kick myself in the butt, which I'm doing and I'm sitting down, I would do, because listening to Diane and doing this is like, okay, Karen, time to get off your butt and start working again. So I'm very, very excited that the team had a faith in me to put me back on this agenda and force me to do this. Well, it didn't force me. I said yes. But now it's forcing me to get my mindset back in the mind. So let's get excited. Let's all know, whatever stage that you are in your journey right now, right in ACTIVZ, whether it be you're new, you've been running hard, or you were here to begin with and it's sort of tapered off. If I had a reset button or a begin button, here it is. Every Saturday when we have these calls, it is to build you and to continue you in your business, to build your business. So with that being said, we're going to set the mindset, and let's talk about how to go get your business started. All right, so this conversation is, I'm going to pass this because we just talked about it, which is it's for every one of us in ACTIVZ, no matter who we are. So let's set the stage for what you're going to encounter as you prospect, because you need to know what you're going to come up against, both the good and the bad, right? Your experience is going to be somewhat typical of all the rest of the experiences, and that's what we're going to set with expectation. But you also might have some really amazing opportunities that are unique to you. Right? Diane said she has, I want to say Matthew, I hope I had the right name, or Mike, who came into her business and he just was on fire, right? And just has started, and she loves all her teammates. And Matthew has made a difference, or Mike, I'm sorry, Diane, if I don't know the right name, has made a huge difference. Some of us, as she said, will hit 200 people and get the no. And at that point, it's hard to continue. but continue, keep doing it, be consistent, persevere, because the science behind ACTIVZ, both in how they built the business and how we built the products, has been proven to work. It does work. We keep seeing people advance. We see these A16s, we see our A15s. It does work, and it can work for anyone who is committed and will do the steps to do it. All right, so here's the typical, right? These are the typical things you're going to encounter when you prospect. No, it takes 5 to 6 touches before someone will sign up. It's very hard to go out and introduce it the first time around to one person and they go, yep, sign me up. You're going to find that mainly occurs probably with your hot market, those that really know you, those that have respect for you, and it might not be your family and friends. I'm going to tell you right now, those sometimes are the hardest ones to sell. But in typical, if you're working with people that are warm market or cold market, you're going to have 5 or 6 touches. 90% of the people you prospect will not sign up for whatever reason. It's not the right time. Okay. Don't give up on them. Continue to touch them, tell them about new products, tell them that you're thinking of them, but it might take a while, or it might never happen. Don't take offense to it. It's not you personally. It's something that is going on in their life or their expectations of what they want to do. Don't take it personally, because if you take it personally, then you'll find that it affects you mentally. And it's not about you, usually. It's usually about something that's in their life. 90% of those that do sign up will be customers only, with only probably 1 or 2 of those becoming distributors. And usually about 1 in every 4 to 6 of those distributors actually really doing something within the business. So you'll see that next. Only 10% of your distributors will be serious, and only 2% of your distributors will be heavy hitters. And what do we mean by heavy hitters, right? So I tell you, we talk business here. Heavy hitters are those that are like Diane and others, Trisha, who have come out of the gate and just hit it. They've made their numbers. They've ranked advanced really, really quick. Nothing's going to stop them. They are either very, very well knowledged, or, as I call myself, ignorance on fire. They don't care if they know all the information, but they know that this is an awesome opportunity that everyone should be introduced to. And so nothing's going to stop them, and they're going to, no matter how much time, they're going to do everything they can to be successful from the start and as fast as they can. Other things is, you have to know that we have great products, and we have loads of happy repeat customers. And that's wonderful, because that way you know that we have the system as far as our products are available to make this happen. And then know that not everything is distributor based, right? Customers are necessary. So don't just push them to the side. A high percentage of customers will create a great base of income from you. The repeat orderers, the auto ships, customers refer customers, right? So you gonna have to have a balance of your expectations that both customers and your distributors or team members are going to build your business, help you build your business. As Diane said, this is a business, so make sure you treat it like one. So come to every event, right? If you possibly can. There are things that get in the way, but right now we're sort of limited because of COVID. We're doing the Zooms. We haven't had been able to get in front of a lot of people, but no matter what way you are presenting your business, phone, Zoom, and in person, treat it like a business and present it like a business, because it is. Don't give everything away from free. Your product, your services, everything that you have is a value. And don't devalue yourself. Don't devalue ACTIVZ. Make sure that you know that what you have is extremely special that you can now offer to others. So you don't need anyone's acceptance or approval. That sometimes is very hard for us, right? Especially in different business, especially if you've been used to working for someone, right? When you've been used to working for someone or in a job or you had a boss, you always had to ask for acceptance and approval. And I better put my little tagline in before David gets me after this of, okay, we do have guidelines. We do have terms and conditions that we have to follow, but they're very, very well written and not too restrictive. So there are some of those, but be yourself and know that you can do this, and that for the most part, I would say 100% of us are accepting an approval of what you are doing, and we want you to succeed. But it doesn't take whoever Joe Schmo next door that you're talking to accept you or approve you on your business. If they say no, say thank you. I'm gonna, in your head, gonna keep tripping on them, but move on, because they don't make who you are, and they're not gonna make your business. Okay, so that goes to the next one, right? Your attitude. It's all about your attitude. I'm gonna do it with you or without you. Plain and simple. And now don't go telling people that, because that's just plain rude. But know in your heart that you're committed. You can do this, and you have a team behind you that will help you do this. But you are you, and you will be successful. And you're going to build this business no matter what. And you're not going to let anyone, I don't care if it's your mama, your spouse, your kids, your great grandma, whoever, they're not going to steal your dreams, and they're not going to ever stop you from being successful. You are a no quit individual. You're a no quit ACTIVZ person. So go for it, and don't let anybody change that attitude. You have to hold it in no matter what, because you know out there the world can beat the, okay, I have to watch my language, beat the snot out of you, and don't let them, right? Continue to be successful. All right. So the reality is, moving forward, you have to be willing to prospect. And what does prospect mean? You've got to go out and tell people. You have to be able to tell people about this business and about our products. Now, you have to know why you're doing that, and that's to build your business. But is that the ultimate reason? Usually, the ultimate reason is because A, you want to help the world. You've had a life-changing experience with these products, and you want to share it. You want to make sure that everybody that you can talk to has the opportunity to change their lives. That's usually really the underlying for most people. But the only way you can do that is by talking to people. Now, you don't have to tell them over and over again in a long dissertation. Sit down. We have so many tools now that can get information out to people. Use them. You can have meetings, you can have conference calls, you can hand out a flyer, you can give an app, you can give a business card, you can do electronic business cards. There's so many ways now to prospect people that there should be no reason why you can't just tell anyone you run into that there's a great opportunity. Now, the one thing you do need to be is you need to know, as Diane said, your story, your why, and you need to be consistent of being able to talk to people. And you don't have to always, even if you get a rehearsed script, make sure that you're changing that up to what's appropriate to the person you're talking to and the situation that you're in, right? If you're talking to the waitress, which I do, is that they're busy doing their job. They're not going to have time to talk to you for 15, 20 minutes about this company. Tell them that you're excited about how they served you and that you have a business that if they'd be interested in a second gig. that quickly. Get their information or give them yours, but adjust it to your situation. So here are some most effective and least effective ways to get exposures. Corporate event, networking events, small groups, home meeting, lunches, face-to-face. You've seen all of these, right? I just said it. I'm not going to repeat it because I spent time earlier, but there are so many ways that you are exposed to people. And now you add social media to it, which wasn't on my list, and it's even gotten bigger. So here are a couple of things. So I'm sure most of you know what a hot market, warm market, and cold market is. I'm going to go over really, really quick. Hot markets are really those that know you very, very well. Your family, your friends, people who you would pick up if you pick up the phone and call if you need an emergency, or if you talk to every day. Warm markets are those that you've talked to them. They might be associates. They could be people that you've had some interaction with in the past, but they would recognize your name if you called them, and they probably have respect for you in some form of fashion for business or whatever interaction that you've had with them previously. And a cold market is, I don't know who the heck you are. Never met you before. Haven't seen you ever in my life. So you are starting fresh with them. So those are your three markets. Each of them should be approached a little bit differently in your prospecting, and each person will be approached differently based on how your relationship has been with them. So make sure you know that you are listening and knowing who you're talking to in every situation, whether it be individual or group, right? Because you should adapt your presentation or your thought process to them. They are the most important person or group in the conversation, right? It's not about you. It's not all about ACTIVZ to a degree. It's about knowing and listening to them and then adapting to how ACTIVZ can fit in to make their life better. If you will put listening to them first and asking them questions before you jump into any type of prospecting, you will be, I'm telling you, 80%, I would say 100, but that's not true, but 80% more effective in your prospecting. All right. The other thing is, don't fake it. Everything you do, and network marketing has a tradition or has a stereotypical negativity of people faking it to make it, or people are going to tell me anything they want to tell me in order to get me in the business because all they want to do is make money off of me. That is a terrible thing to be attached to our business, and we need to change that. Right? It's our responsibility as network marketers and direct salespeople to change that attitude. And how do we do it? It's you be sincere. You be you. Always tell the truth. Always be honest. Always be ethical in what you're presenting to them. Don't tell them false numbers. Don't tell them about the great house that you supposedly have. Don't tell them, if the made up numbers of how successful people are. Be truthful. Tell them the truth and be yourself. It's that simple. People join companies because of the people that represent the companies, and they join the companies based on the relationship that you build with them. And if they see you as a fake, they see you as insecure, which I'm sure absolutely none of you are doing. Okay, so I'd say that none of you are doing it. But make sure that you're putting their needs and their feelings and what they're going through first, and then be sincere in introducing ACTIVZ and our products on how it can help them. And as I said, it's going to change, right? When you have your hot and warm markets, you're going to be able to jump a little bit quicker to being able to introduce ACTIVZ to them. If you have a cold market, they don't know you, you're going to have to build a little bit of a relationship with them before you can start introducing ACTIVZ or the products. The reason is because if you jump right in on a cold market, they're going to think the only thing you want to do is sell them. and that you're not listening to them, and that you really don't care who they are. You just want to sell the product. I'll give you an example. My son is a high school diver. He's just starting, and Stu knows this, he's just started to be recruited in the college atmosphere, in the college arena. Thank the Lord, he's very talented and he's very smart and blessed. And that's a little bit of the mama bear coming out and bragging on him a little bit. But yesterday we had a coach come to the dive meet. And the dive coach afterwards, never met him before. We talked to him once on the phone to see how much interest there was in getting Justin on his team. And so he came to the dive meet here. He drove about 4 hours to come visit, and met him afterwards, introduced ourselves, and we were talking, and it was a great conversation. And yes, he's still interested in Justin. So high five with that. But he was talking about, we were talking about grabbing something to eat. And he said that he actually has a hard time eating. He has some stomach issues and he really has bad gout, right? So in my head, yeah, I got it. Link. Okay, right? That's going to be the start. And then we'll throw in some Optimin and Genomics. But I couldn't just say, well, blah. Hey, I got this business, blah, 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 blah. I wanted to, but I took a step back and I said, oh my gosh, that I know is a very painful condition. We talked a little bit about it. And I said, I totally understand. I said, I don't know if you know, but I'm in the health field. I actually am in a company that we create supplements. And I said, I don't know if you'd be willing to try it, but I have a product that I would love for you to try. If you're interested, I'll send you some information. If not, that would be great. Or if not, no problem. But I know if I was in your shoes, I would want to try anything. Have you tried everything? He's like, yeah, pretty much everything. So by the end of the short conversation, he was like, yeah, I'd be interested. You know, I've been living with this for however long. It was about 18 months. And I'm like, great. Well, I stopped the conversation, right? You got to know when to stop. That's another point here. You can oversell. I stopped. I said, okay, well, I'll get back with you and I'll tell you a little bit more about it in a different situation. You know, continue to talk to the boys here. And that was the cold market touch, because I really didn't know this gentleman. But it's all about building the relationship before introducing. So that was an example for that. So here are a couple of things. I want to give you a couple of direct approaches on the invite of warm markets and cold markets. Now I'm throwing hot into the warm markets. So first I want to say, a lot of times as you go through this and you start going through your warm markets, because in the success guide, it tells you create your first, list of 80 to 100 people and start going through them and introducing yourself. Then they're usually going to be your warm market, your hot and warm market, right? And one thing that people say is, I don't know enough people, or I'm going to run out of prospects, especially if you're getting a lot of no's at the beginning, right? And you will, especially if you haven't done this before and you're going to practice, and it does take practice, and getting to know what makes you feel good about presenting actives and presenting the products and how it is the best for you to do in your own personality, right? But I want to tell you, as we go forward and as you get into prospecting, you will never, ever run out of prospects. All right. So I want you to get that out of your head right now. That can never be an objection, because you will never run out of prospects. Every person that you meet can potentially be a prospect for you. And think about how many new people or new people you meet or interact with on a daily basis, right? Consistently, you improve it almost on a daily time frame. Also, they don't have to reach out to you. you're going to get good enough that you can start reaching out to people through your social media, through events, join your networking groups. You will never run out of prospects. So I wanted to throw that in. All right, so here are some questions, or here's some things that you can throw out to different markets, and you're going to adjust some of your compliments and your statements based on what the market is. Your warm market, you're going to probably be a little bit more direct of, hey, I found something that I want you to see. I'm launching a new business. I'd like your feedback. I do a lot of, hey, I respect you in the business realm. Can you take a look at this and let me know what you think? Some of those, you're going to be able to do that a little bit more with those that are in warm market. You'll adjust it to the person that you know. In the cold market, you want to start asking them about themselves and what their plans are and what they want to do with their life, right? As you start building that rapport. Because the more you know about them, the more you're going to build the relationship, and the more that you can tell them how ACTIVZ and our products will change their life in a positive way. And so it's all about knowing, having the knowledge and knowing the person that you're talking to. Here's a couple of more, and I will make this available, this slideshow available to Angie. I think I've sent it to Angie and Stu. They're more than welcome to post it. I'm not going to go through all of it because I've taken a lot of time, but these give you some additional questions that you can offer, and just to get you thinking. At times when you listen to people, you're going to catch on something that they say that will trigger you to ask them a question. That's usually how it's going to work. But here are some of them just to have in your back pocket in order to know that you can always start a conversation with anyone and everyone. Okay, so something that Diane said that she had her leadership, or the person that signed her in, her friend and team, did was she said, would you look at this video? So always have some type of information to give them in some form or fashion, whether it be a three-way or a brochure or, oh, my article's spelled wrong. Sorry about that. And a video link, a web page, something that you can give to them to give them information and get them piqued into the interest. Now, when you do that, don't just give it to them and run and expect them to call you back, because they won't. Plain and simple. That's not always. 99.9% of them won't call you. You have to reach out to them. So a good trick is to always schedule the follow-up, and that's going to be our next slide. So when you give them the information, make sure that you're asking them to be open to looking at your information, not interested in your information. That's two different questions. If you say, hey, are you open to checking this out? You're going to get a much better response, a more positive response than if you're interested. For some reason, it has been shown in science that the interest is a lot easier for them to say no to, because it is a personal thing to them, a personal question to them, where open is basically keeping it a very positive, open conversation. And they're thinking that they're doing you a favor by, would you be open to do it? So that's a little shift in mindset, and something you should put into all of your questions and in of your interaction with people. All right, so if they seem like they're going to be reluctant and they say no, that's okay. Back up. As I stated earlier, your information and your company is valuable. So say, hey, I see you're reluctant. That's okay. This might not be the time for you. Take it away. People do not like to not be involved in something. right? A lot of times in network marketing and any business, we seem desperate to get the sale and we seem desperate to get the distributor. Don't be that person. You are valuable. Your time's valuable. This opportunity is valuable. It's okay to take it back in a little bit and say, no problem. I'll get back with you at a different time because right now it's really going crazy. I want to give it out to people who are really interested. I'll get back with you later. And a lot of times they'll be like, well, wait a minute. Huh, what? Why are you taking this away? You just offered it. Or you'll check with them a couple of days later and say, hey, it's really blowing up. Or, hey, are you sure? How are you feeling? You sure you don't want to try the product? And they'll be more apt to do that. I'll give you an example. So I did an arrow challenge. I was so excited when arrow came out. Did an arrow challenge on my Facebook page. People will tell you that I'm a little crazy. So I actually posted a beginning weight, got on the scale, posted the beginning weight, all of my measurements, all of my weight. And I said, I'm going to get on this arrow. It's a new product that my company has. And I'm going to show you how it works. So I'm going to try it out before I give it to any of you guys. Well, I did very well and still do very well on arrow. I love the product. I'm like Diane, I'm addicted to it. I do take genomics too, but not to stop that addiction. I don't want that addiction to stop, right, Diane? If we want to keep that addiction. And so I started losing weight. I lost like 5.5 pounds the first week. And overall, I've lost about 15 pounds and 35 inches, something like that. I've done really, really well. And the first 2 weeks, I wouldn't offer it to them. I told them I showed them in my video. I did a weekly video and I started getting, well, where can I get it? How can I get it? And I waited 2 weeks before I offered it. And part of that was because we hadn't actually put it on the market yet. But I was like, we had it as distributors, but it really wasn't really full blown into the retail area. And they're like, come on, Karen, give it to me. So by the time I posted it, right, I'd taken it away. It was valuable to me, but by the time I posted it, they were like, finally. And literally I had, within the first 48 hours, 20 customers join for Arrow immediately. So there's something to be said about knowing when to give your information versus when not to, and giving yourself permission to take it away. And don't be desperate. You're valuable. Don't be desperate, plain and simple. Like I said, if they say no, it could be just because it's the wrong timing for them, or they just need more information, or you never know, it could be finances. But there's a way around it, and never stop dripping on them until they say, get the heck away from me. Stop talking to me about it. Because you never know when the right time is. It could be 3 years down from the first time you've introduced it to them. Now, I have to add, don't be a nag, all right? We all know those network marketers and direct sale people that just beat the tar out of us of, look at it. I have them every day because in digital marketers, they all are shiny object people. So I have it every day and I'm like, okay, wait a minute, stop. You know better, right? But you get excited and in our heads, how come you can't see what I'm showing you? Again, you never know what's in their life. So check yourself, present yourself in a very business person, be very professional and don't nag them because they are expecting you to, because that's what we've done in the past. Don't do it again. Don't do it now. And again, I'm saying this to whoever's going to watch this in the future. I'm sure none of us have done any of these things that I'm saying no to, right? Okay. All right. When you give them the information, right? There is a very well-known network marketer, Ray Higdon and his wife, Jessica, and they teach this, and so does Fraser Brooks, and always schedule the follow-up. Like I said earlier, don't give them information and just expect them to call you back, because a lot of times you're going to be disappointed. what you do is say, I'm going to give you this information, but we're going to tell, when are you going to watch it? When are you going to read it? Will you read it by whatever time? They say yes, say, great, let's schedule a time to get back to discuss it or talk about it. Let me answer your questions. I'd love to see what you think is what you think of it, how great it is. Always have a follow-up date, right? If you don't, you are wasting your time by giving them your information. It's that simple. Because they will not see the urgency that you see. And if you schedule it, you will force them to be respectful of your time and watch it. Now, also know you're going to have some of those that ghost you. And what did we say earlier? Don't take it personally. Okay? Don't take it personally. It might be that something has come up. It could be they haven't looked at it. Just continue to love on them, continue to touch them until you know for sure whether or not they want to do the business, or they've told you, okay, don't talk to me ever again about ACTIVZ. And then, 2 months later, throw something else at them. But that's just me. So, all right, always do a follow-up. Like I said, if you're going to schedule it, you might as well do it, right? The follow-up is continuing to follow up with them on a physical meetup, phone call. Make sure you have a reason to follow up with them. If you are continuing to drip on them or to follow up with them versus it's a follow-up on a call. So say you've given them information, you followed up with them, it's not the right time, but we all know we continue to tell them about other things to keep their interest, keep in their eyesight, right? Make sure you have like a product information or a new study that just came out of how great our products is, or a new commission plan. Just don't contact them to just check in. Make sure you're giving them value for your follow-up, because that shows them that you actually care and that you're interested in providing them with the information that they need to know to make a good decision, whether it is to become just a customer or to become a distributor or to move from a customer to a distributor, right? And always start the conversation asking about them and how they are and what's going on in their life before you get into the business side. Okay, so as you probably know, you're going to have rejections. And as I've said before, this reiterates it, a no usually is not a heck no. It's usually just they're not the right time in their life. So don't take it personally, continue to reach out to them. And then at some point, if they still say no, make sure you ask for referrals. Say, okay, well, maybe this isn't right for you. But do you know somebody who could benefit from my business or benefit from our products? Because I'm finding I was never really into health, as far as health supplements, anything like that, until I came to ACTIVZ. And so it really wasn't a big thing for me. And I met David, and David was telling me about the science behind it, right? Because a lot of health supplements are just the same supplements repackaged, not ours, right? Ours are very unique and very specialized, which made a huge difference in my thought process for health. And then I also took it to, at that time, Admiral Matt Winter, and got his opinion on the science, because I knew he was just a genius in the science department. And I pitched it to him to find out what he thought. And he did some research and he confirmed that the science is truly the science. So I was 100% and am 100% in. So ask for the referral. I still do this process even outside of ACTIVZ. I've been doing it with coaches that no longer have dive teams for Justin, and it's worked out very well. So don't be afraid to ask. I'm going to give you another book it's called The Aladdin Factor. It's a very old book. I don't hear about it very much, but it was life-changing for me. And it's a book that talks about asking, never assuming. A lot of times we will assume we're going to get an answer before we even ask it. And so then we don't even ask. Let your person that you're prospecting give you an answer. Don't answer for them. It's okay if you have some silence in your conversation. It's okay if you let them think about things. Don't answer for them, right? We always want to, we've gotten to the point where we always want to talk over people, and I'm really bad at that. So I'm calling myself out on that myself. But let them think it through. Let them answer you when you ask them a question. Always phrase your question in a positive format, all right? Don't throw negativity into it, because once you start the negativity, it churns to more. So try to make sure you're asking your questions in a positive fashion. Think abundance, right? Don't try to convince somebody. You want to give them the information and you want them to make their own decisions. Now, you're there also to answer any questions that they may have. You are also there to, so they're like, wrap it up. So you are also there to tell them about the positives. And that's probably the next thing. Make sure that you're answering their questions, you're not deflecting their questions, and make sure you're not only answering your agenda. They want to make sure they're being listened to. In addition, make sure you're positive. One thing that you might not have thought about, always be busy. Always seem as if you're busy, right? You don't always have to be available right at the minute that they want you to be available, because if they see you're busy and that you're doing very well, and it's keeping you active and energetic, they're going to want to be a part of that. They're going to want to see that it's working, and that you are giving off the vibrations that you're positive and it's just amazing, and they're going to be a part of it. Want to be a part of it. All right, we talked a little bit about your list. I'm going to pass this because that's in the success guide that Diane talked about, and I have several slides on that. I'm going to go to, why are you afraid to call? So this is an important slide. And what you need to do is go and write down, why are you afraid to make that call? Is it because of the rejection? Do you have the pure belief in your product and your opportunity? Because you have to have that in order to go forward. And if you find that you're not busy enough, it means your list isn't big enough. All right. So go back every time you check off someone, add another one. Make sure that you keep your list running as hard and as big as you possibly can. And you're going to run out of warm and hot. You're going to have to be able to address cold market, and don't be afraid. They don't know what you're going to say. They don't know who you are. So there's no way you can mess up. And personally, you are going to mess up, and it's okay. We all have. None of us are perfect. I don't care how big you've gotten in the business. None of us are perfect. So just know they don't know that, though. They think you're perfect. So they have no other way. So they're not going to know what you're telling them is slightly incorrect, or it's not exactly what you wanted to say. It's all right. And actually, people appreciate that you're human, right? Because if you're not human and you're really sticking to a script and it's 100%, they're going to think they can't do it. And so you need to show that everyone can do it, and it's all right. You just got to be human, and things happen. And so you never want to say that, hey, do you want to make money? I want to make the next rank. I need to build this business to earn the next trip. Well, some of that you need to say internally, but never say that to anyone prospecting. What you do want to say is, I want to help you in whatever their goals are. And so that's what you focus on when you're prospecting. And then the last I have is the people that succeed in this type of business, which ours is unique because we're omni-channel marketing, is those that do two things. They see if people are open to extra income and to improving their life with our products, and they don't quit. So all you got to know is persevere. and you can do this business. This business is simple. It's not easy, but you can do it. And that's it. I hope y'all, I want to thank you for allowing me to do this presentation today, get remotivated, get excited, and let me learn from each and every one of you also. So thank you so much, and back to you guys.
Great job, Karen. It's you and Diane both really knocked it out of the park today. And what's really great is that you focused on the fundamentals, the things that everyone has been taught, will hear over and over again. Which it might seem ironic, but if you want to be a truly novel, successful distributor, follow the success guide. You know, everybody's told to do it, but very few people do it. And as Karen and Diane really spelled out in great detail with great anecdotes and great enthusiasm and energy. Again, I'll reiterate what Karen said. It's not complicated. It's not easy, but it's not complicated. And it's adapted to the capacity of the weakest of us. Anyone can do it, and they are showing us how to do it. And I can tell you two things. They both have belief and they both have courage. And it takes both of those. It takes belief, courage, and perseverance. And that leads us up to our next speaker. We'd be well fed today if we just stopped right there. But we have one more great speaker. Retired Admiral Matt Winter has reorganized his schedule today so that he can be with us on this special day. I could go into a long, lengthy list of his various accomplishments, but we started this call talking about football, and he went to a football school, Notre Dame, and that might be impressive. But what you might also know is he's been asked. He spoke recently at a commencement at Notre Dame. They reserve that for their best and their brightest. You heard Karen talk about introducing him to us, which she did, and that took a lot of courage. He immediately understood, excuse me, the science, NERF 2. Why? Because he'd been the head of the Office of Naval Research, which is where some of that science had actually been done. One of his more recent assignments was as the head of the F-35 Joint Task Force, which is interesting, as he had to work with a lot of different people from all the branches of the military and all of our NATO allies, and with something that most leaders had struggled with big time. And he showed his people skills and being able to get that project back on course. But one of the things that's most telling about Admiral Winter is that he believes in the products, but he really believes in you. And I can tell you that because he said over and over again in these type of settings how impressed he is with people, and he put his money where his mouth is. He's an investor in ACTIVZ, as is his brother, and family means a lot to him. His daughter, who's succeeding in business, means a lot. And in other words, and I hope I don't offend him when I say this, Admiral Winter is our type of person. And so with no further ado, it's my pleasure to turn the time over to Admiral Matt Winter for some concluding remarks. Matt.
Thanks, David. A personal story to set the stage. It's May 1987. I'm in my first deployment of the United States Navy, and I'm flying my A6 Intruder in the middle of the Mediterranean Sea. It's a dark night. We're coming back from a very long mission. We're setting up to land on that aircraft carrier you see right behind me, but it's dark. You can't see a thing. Slowing down 500 miles an hour, 400 miles an hour, 300 miles an hour, getting all of our checklists set, lining up on that carrier that's moving in 6 degrees of freedom. And we're sweating and the adrenaline's pumping down to 200 miles an hour, enough to lower our landing gear and our tail hook so we can do a controlled crash as we catch that wire and go from 200 miles an hour to 0 and stop. 20 seconds prior, all dark, 20 seconds prior to that controlled crash, my entire cockpit, which is over here, turns red. 2 fire lights. Both of my engines are indicating I'm on fire. The book says, raise my gear and fly away from the ship and figure out what to do. I look at my instruments and don't see any secondary indications of fire. I know it takes 45 seconds for a full-blown fire in that back of those engines to burn through to the fuel tanks. So I have 45 seconds. I got 20 seconds to land. I make the decision to continue. All of that happened in less than a second and a half. Now, the next 15 seconds of my life was pretty sporty, but as we came aboard and we landed, went to full power and felt the deceleration and went from 200 miles an hour to 0, I knew I made the right decision. Why do I tell you this? Although this may be more something out of a movie for most people, that's what I lived. I lived real-time adversity. And being ready for that adversity is really what I want to talk about today. Because adversity is not something we need to shy away from. If we would have flown away, it's almost guaranteed we'd burn through and the plane would have exploded and we would have had to have ejected. And higher probability of personal injury and maybe not even recovery in the middle of the Mediterranean Ocean. That decision that we made and to land allowed us to continue to go forward, and I'm here. So as you think about that in your own, in your actives world, don't think of this as non-relatable. That's melodramatic. I'm not in that kind of, I'll say, acute adversity. I'm here to tell you that adversity is on a spectrum. And we all have the opportunity to do what I say, embrace it. And you embrace that by reducing your anxiety, the uncertainty, understanding the complexity, and understanding that there'll always be volatile situations that face us in our personal lives and in our professional lives, with our actives business and with our families and communities. Being ready, understanding the fundamentals of execution, listening to Diane's great expose on the guide, and really digging into Karen's step-by-step of fundamental executions gives you a sense of maybe not calm, but knowledge and awareness. And what does that do? For me, it reduces my anxiety. It doesn't mean I'd rather pass up adversity, of course, right? The fact is adversity is going to happen. And when it does, if you're aware, if you have grasp of the fundamentals and you're trained and ready, then the two other elements, a good decision that's followed up with leadership follow-through, will happen. Decision-making is something you do 1,000 times a day. And as you put your business plans together, and those that are already executing, I fly my A6. We all want to be an A6 in actives, right? You want to keep moving forward, understand how to make good decisions, and understand you're going to fail. You're going to make mistakes, right? The responsibility you have for your actions to ensure you realize the outcomes, you're accountable for the outcomes, are the two pillars that give you the ownership for your successes and mistakes. If you have that dialogue with yourself and your team, and you talk about those fundamentals, understanding the awareness and the mechanics, and bring together good decisions, and then working together to share your mistakes so everybody learns from them, and understand that you own not only your business, you own the mistakes and the successes. You can't help but to be a better individual, a better team, and a better business. And I can tell you that my experiences that have generated lessons, the majority I've learned, some I had to relearn, but experiences to lessons learned generate what's called best practices, changes in behavior, decision-making, to make you a better person. That's not just something out of a book. That's something each and every one of us lives every day, right? Are you ready for the power to go out? I would submit that most of you probably have flashlights in your household. Do you have blankets in case the heating goes off? You already exhibit the preparation and reality for the adversity that you don't want to have happen, but if it does, I'm going to take care of it. Your business is no different, right? Karen's spot on. It's not no. I always say I put the no and not yet. It's an understanding of your capabilities, of the confidence that you have in being able to lead your team. Simply put, leadership for me is being able to provide clear, objective direction in the face of overwhelming adversity and uncertainty. Isn't that what you want? I don't know, when I was a kid, I always felt comfortable or comforted by my mom and dad when they would say, don't worry about it. Now, of course, they probably just said that so I get out of the room. But the fact is I didn't worry about it. You are the leader of your team. Now, you may be the leader of one. As Diane says, everybody's a leader. Don't go, it's them. It's you. We are they. You're a leader of your team, bigger team, bigger team. Over my career, I've led from an individual and two guys in a cockpit to my last leadership command of literally over 250,000 people around the world. Each of them had personal and professional goals. Each of them had personal and professional priorities, desires, but they also had weaknesses. They also had failures. As you as a team lead, it's important that you understand those. You don't coddle them, you don't appease them, but you understand so you can develop and support them and yourself while holding them to measurable outcomes, meeting the numbers. And when you don't meet the numbers, you go, well, let's find out why. Not you didn't meet the numbers and move on. Let's find out why. And then you understand. And that understanding and awareness, again, brings down the anxiety and uncertainty. I have, throughout my career, a gazillion, literally hundreds of scenarios that I could tell you about. But I can sort of wrap them up in, I have solved innumerable, insurmountable problems in my career. Hey, boss, here's another insurmountable, there's no way we can solve this. I go, great, pull up a chair, Diet Coke, and let's figure out how we're going to do it. What's that? To Karen's point, a positive attitude. Not an aspirational attitude, but an inspirational, bold, positive leadership presence, right? Don't you want to be led by somebody that's confident? Now, if you're the leader, you can't just be confident. You got to have something behind it. You got to have something under the hood. Do you feel confident enough to share your mistakes? Do you feel confident enough to know that that will help the team be better? Think about that. You have an incredible resource across the entire ACTIVZ family and enterprise. You know, Ryan and David and Angie and the C-suite team and the management team, phenomenal resources. But even a better and more impactful force multiplier is everybody on this Zoom call times 100. Never feel inhibited to reach out to somebody. Never feel inhibited to reach out to me. In fact, after we do these, I've done a couple of these, I usually get phone calls and emails. Feel free. There's questions you're going to have. We're not going to be able to take those. Let me know what your questions are. I'm a student, a practitioner, and a teacher of leadership, decision-making, and true, sincere caring for individuals, because that's what makes up our teams. And if you think about adversity, if you think about the true impact and undying gratitude of individuals, I'd like to take just a second to think about today. And today, as we commemorate, we don't celebrate necessarily the anniversary, we commemorate 20 years ago today, some atrocities that are just too horrific to recant. But it's important that we don't forget. Remember and don't forget. Not because we want to have vindictiveness, but it's important that we learn our lessons, right? Experiences generate lessons, then we need to learn them. What did I learn? I learned that as much as you are prepared, you're never 100% ready. So you're going to have to be ready in that adversity to do something that's not on your plan, something that's uncomfortable, something that you think you cannot do. The problem is in those acute adversities, if you don't do anything, it's usually worse than taking the wrong action. It's sort of, there are no bystanders. I say that a lot. If you see a piece of trash on the ground, you walk by it, you're a litterer. If you laugh at an off-color joke, you as bad as if you just said it yourself. There are no bystanders. Own your leadership space. The adversity that we felt at 20 years ago was only outdone by the next day. I can't tell you how much that I sit back and think about how galvanized. Didn't matter what color we are, didn't matter what religious background, didn't matter what our political suasions are. We came together. We truly did. We had people carrying a lady in a wheelchair down 100 flights of stairs. Didn't know who that person was. Helped immediately to come together. Now, we don't need catastrophic shock events like this to help ourselves and our ACTIVZ teams. So remember the adversity today. Never forget it, but also look at the silver lining and the benefit that came out of that. Because I'm here to tell you, we are a stronger nation. We are a better people. Regardless of what you can say and think today, we truly are a better nation. And I'm proud, to tell you the truth, to be part of that. And really to be part of the ACTIVZ family. I'm celebrating my 3-year anniversary with ACTIVZ, right? I am 120% behind the science. As Diane says, that science is true. I've not only read the papers, I helped develop some of the basic concepts with our team at the Office of Naval Research. If you, as a team lead and as a customer, can truly understand that the science works, you don't have to understand the Laplace transformation or the daughter products of a chemical breakdown or the actual DNA threads. You don't have to know that, but you do have to believe that the process, the technology and the science is true. And it is. Now it's over to you for narration, for engagement, for sincere communication, for clarity of engagement, and the benefits, as Karen stated on our last slide, of how we can make you a better person, which makes your family better, which makes your community better, which makes your nation better. And from a business perspective, help you better understand what network marketing really is from an omni-channel perspective, and leveraging off of the ACTIVZ family so you don't feel alone, you don't feel anxiety. We're here to help you so you can build your business. I'm proud to be on the advisory board. I'm proud to be associated with each and every one of you. And I am 100% open to communication, email, phone call, text, smoke signals, whatever you want to do. Ladies and gentlemen, you are part of something that's greater than yourself, and you get that opportunity to make it better. I wish you the best in your business, but more, I wish you the best in your personal and your family lives to be better people. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thanks, Matt. I think I speak for all of us when we realize how blessed and really singular we are to have someone like you. I know I still feel uncomfortable calling a Vice Admiral Matt. I feel like I need to say, thank you, Mr. Winter, thank you, Vice Admiral Winter, but you're always so down to earth. We're just grateful to have you part of the family and the leadership that you provide. Admiral Winter mentioned 9/11. We can't, we all have a lot of thoughts on this day. My thoughts turn back to a fellow by the name of Brent Woodall. He was a legend in San Diego. He grew up he went to La Jolla High School where he played 3 sports. If you know anything about San Diego, La Jolla is a very exclusive, kind of expensive area. So he grew up in a privileged background, kind of the all-American kid, went on to play 2 sports, football and baseball at Berkeley. Was good enough that he made the Chicago Cubs farm system, kind of got hurt, got injured. So he found himself as an equities trader in New York City, working in the World Trade Center. And he called his parents after the plane hit their tower and said, you know, we are above the plane. We're all going to go up to the roof, and we're hoping that we can be evacuated from the roof. I'll keep in touch with you later. Well, a friend of ours, some of you know her, Jan Strode, was very close to the family. And they later found out that the tower collapsed without being able to get their son out. And they thought that the last thing they'd ever hear from him was him saying, I'm going to the roof. Well, in all their grief, they had well-wishers sending them messages, and they actually asked Jan to check their voicemail, their phone at home for any messages that people had left, because they just weren't up to it. What they didn't realize was that Jan picked up a message, and it was actually the very last message from their son. He had called them back. They had stepped out, had taken a shower, had done something, had missed the last phone call. But the last thing he said, how much he loved his parents, how grateful he was for the lessons that they've been taught, how much he loved his wife and his unborn daughter, who would be born 6 months later. He also wondered if he'd ever left a legacy or made a difference in the lives of other people. He did. The family went on and created a charity in his name, and he left, perhaps in death, he may have even left a bigger impact than he did in life. Except that little 6-year-old or 6-month-old baby who is now 20, is also a collegiate athlete, doing very well at Columbia. And all of us have adversity, as Matt said. Most of us will not face the horrific things that family did, but all of us will face people who are battling cancer, who are battling financial problems, family issues, people suffering from depression, other things. In fact, if you were to talk to 100 people on the street, most of them will be dealing with something very, very hard in their lives. That's why the impact that we make, our willingness to reach out and share good, positive messages, of which ACTIVZ is one of those. It's not the most important thing, but I can tell you when just the interaction that you have with people, that is the most important thing. The fact that they know that you care, and that you care for the right reasons, and that you care specifically about health, you specifically about how their family's doing and how you can help them with the problems that they have, like Karen said. But more than anything else, it's a matter of making a difference. And the legacy, the light that you shine, the light that we are shining, that helps you to relate to a retired vice admiral telling the story of landing a plane on a deck and feeling like, wow, I feel like I was in that plane doing that. That's the story that you can share. That's the influence that you can have, and that stretches the world over. So I just want to thank you all for the great influence you have, the legacy that you're leaving, the wonderful leadership that we have, and the fact that, as Diane said, we sometimes doubt ourselves between the ears. But I can tell you, you're all doing a lot better than you think you are. You've got talents and abilities that you can't even imagine. Just like our products can cause gene expression to occur and health benefits that you didn't really understand. Believe me, you have hidden talents and abilities you haven't even begun to tap. And the good news is, if you haven't believed it yet yourself, we believe it for you. Rely upon us for now. You can use our borrowed light for a while until yours gets burning a little bit stronger. But we're grateful to have you with us. We love you all. We think that you are the best part of ACTIVZ and always will be. And we appreciate you being on with us today. Angie, I'll turn it back to you. I know we have a few things to wrap up.
All right, thank you. I wasn't expecting to cry today, David, so I'm not crying, you're crying. But thank you all for joining. Diane and Karen, you guys did a wonderful job presenting. I learned so much from both of you, and Admiral Winter, it was just an honor to hear from you today, especially on a day like today. So thank you all for joining. I'm going to stop the recording and we're going to jump into something a little bit more fun, and we're going to do our wheel of names and give out some raffle points. So give me 1 second here.